Well, at the inaugural Qatar Economic Forum, the conversation amongst the globally renowned market participants, investors, and economists has been dominated by two key themes. Number one, the worry of inflation as far as commodity prices as well as the economy is concerned. And number two, it is the worry about the Fed's tightening policy that may come into effect going forward. Now, a whole host of market participants have weighed in, but Ray Dalio, a voice that the entire world sits up and takes notice, too has weighed in. In fact, he sounds a bit of a caution as far as the prices of financial assets as well as rising inflation is concerned. Well, this is what Ray Dalio had to say. He believes that the Fed can continue to achieve their desired results with relatively modest actions. He believes that it is quite easy to say that the Fed should tighten, but he believes, number one, that they should, but it was going to be very tough for the Fed to go ahead and aggressively hike rates. In fact, what he is saying, the Fed is going to be faced, number one, with a very sensitive market, and number two, with a very, very sensitive economy. He believes that the prices of assets and the bond buying program has been going on for so long that any tightening could actually cause quite a bit of a scare as far as markets are concerned. He also cites the example where recently the Fed just hinted at tightening and the kind of negative effect that the markets around the world saw, including the USA markets. He believes that it is going to be very tough for the Fed to tighten a lot without having a very big negative effect as far as the prices of financial assets are concerned. He also says that he is less concerned about a potential 3% inflation rate and in fact more worried about the rising prices of financial assets. In fact, he's saying that there is quite a bit of liquidity going around and he believes that they are building a bit of a bubble as far as the prices of financial assets are concerned. So very interesting read. Ray Dalio sounding a note of caution. Worried less about the inflation in terms of the headline inflation numbers. The 3% inflation is something not too worried about. But the inflation in the prices of financial assets is something that he is worried about. He also speaks in depth about the bond market. He's saying that going forward, the USA deficit is set to rise further. And he says that the USA going forward will have to force to sell a lot of bonds to investors and bond holders who actually already hold quite a bit of bond inventory. He believes this is going to be a tough ask given that asset prices elsewhere actually slightly are more attractive. He's saying it is going to be difficult to avoid an overheating of monetary inflation due to a flood of bond issuances.